Hello my lovelies, my name is Stephanie and welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, well firstly, happy Valentine's Day. My pink shirt, I've got my Valentine's Day pins on. If you don't understand the references to these two pins, then you don't watch The Simpsons and we can't be friends. Sorry. So, when I found out that my second Storytime Sunday that I started only a month ago was going to be falling on Valentine's Day, I had my work cut out for me to find kind of an adequate storytime that could kind of talk about being trans and dating and things like that. And so, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the one and only experience in which I did not immediately tell the person I was seeing that I was transgender. Yeah. So if you guys would like to find out more about this story, then please stay tuned. Maybe consider giving this video a like, thumbs up, subscribe, notification bell, all of those fun things. And I mean, let's just dive right in, shall we? Okay, so I met this boy when I was 17 years old. I was working in a shop in my local town and it was called Store 21. If any of my audience are kind of older, they used to be called QS, Quality Savings. It's my first retail job and my supervisor and I were really, really close friends. We were around the same age. We were both very, very tall and so we kind of got on really, really well because of that. And I would hang out with her sometimes, and the way that I actually met this guy, so in my local town there was a Frankie and Benny's and he was the chef at Frankie and Benny's. Shout out to Frankie and Benny's, you do a great gluten-free menu, thank you so much, please send me free stuff if you ever watch this. And he was the chef at my local Frankie and Benny's and my family went there for New Year's Eve because we were basic as fuck and I looked great. I was in like a skin tight black dress with sequin lips on it. I was very dressed up to go to Frankie and Benny's. Pretty sure I was going to a party immediately afterwards, so I was like, I'm gonna dress real nice. And so he was the chef there and I thought he was like kind of cute, and I did, okay, I'm not gonna lie, I did a little bit of Facebook stalking. I was around the age when Facebook stalking was a thing. Found out who he was and found out I was really good friends with one of his good friends who I worked with, and it was all kind of connected because his best friend was my supervisor's boyfriend. And it was all connected. And so I told the friend that I worked with that I liked him and I saw him and I thought he was cute. And I was a bit too nervous to give him my number. But I saw him on New Year's Eve and no one knew that I was trans at this point, like in that group, because my supervisor didn't know and her boyfriend didn't know and the guy I liked didn't know. And so we hung out as a little like four, and then me and this guy, we kind of hit it off, and I just didn't want to tell him I was trans yet. And he was great. He was a chef, he had a degree in animation, he drove a very nice car, and he also drove a motorbike, which 17-year-old Steph was very impressed by the motorbike, and going on the back of a motorbike was an experience in and of itself. And we got super, super close, and now he was quite a bit older than me. He was in his mid-20s and I was 17, about to turn 18. And we would hang out all the time and we would just chill at his and we'd kind of, you know, make out. And there was one time when we had a really lovely date where I went to his home and we baked brownies and Victoria's sponge cake. And I used to be really self-conscious about wearing my hair up because I've got kind of protruding ears. And I remember being at his house and not wanting to tie my hair up because I thought he was gonna like judge my ears. And he tied my hair up for me and he said, why do you hide your ears? And I was like, I don't know. I just don't like them. And he's like, I love your ears, and this way I can see more of your face, because I used to have like a fringe that was really heavy, and I just thought it was the sweetest thing. And so we made cakes, and let's just say that he got some kind of flour marks on my bum. There was lots of flirting and it kind of continued on like this for a while. I hadn't told him I was trans. It was the first time I had dated someone where they didn't know I was trans, apart from at a party very briefly, which I would have mentioned in my transgender teen video, where I kissed lots of people and didn't tell them I was trans. Just to say, you are under no obligations to tell someone you're trans just because you've kissed them. It is your choice to tell people. And so we kind of continued, and we didn't really label it. Like, he didn't ask me to be his girlfriend, and I didn't ask him to be his boyfriend, and I just worked at my job and saw him most of the time, and we hung out with my supervisor and her boyfriend, and we were like a little friendship group, and we would get pizza together. And it kind of went like that for a while. And he was really, props to him, because I was a hot 17-year-old, but props to him for like not pushing sex or anything like that, because he knew I was a virgin, he knew I wasn't ready. And it was unrelated to being trans, he just knew that I wasn't ready for any of that. And he said that that was fine. And we just kind of had this really like wholesome, very sweet relationship. And the whole time I was getting to know him, we were driving around together, going on his motorbike and things like that, making out a lot, you know, all of those teenage things. I knew that I was gonna have to tell him eventually. And so there was this night where I kind of think that he thought I wanted to have sex with him, and it wasn't that was it. What was it? It was just kind of our first big like sleepover thing. So I was coming back from my college from a trip to London, and he had said he would pick me up, and like we would go and crash at his and stuff. And I was like, okay, amazing, you know. And we were probably like 3 or 4 weeks into seeing each other at this point. I was like, okay, that's, you know, whatever. And I had like suitcases with me and pillows, and so I waited at Plymouth train station. He drove up from Cornwall, which is like an hour drive, to pick me up, and I desperately needed the loo. And so yeah, anyway, found a toilet, did that, and then we, you know, disappeared off, went back to his. And I had a pillow with me that I'd taken on the bus with my college trip. I don't know why I remember that so vividly. And I stayed the night. And the day before I went on my London trip with college, I wrote a letter to him explaining that I was trans, because I just couldn't do it face to face. I had faced so much adversity as a transgender teenager, and although I hadn't faced a huge amount of it in college, he was someone that lived in my local hometown. So, you know, I had no idea whether or not he would like me or not. And so the day after I slept at his house, after kind of like making out, feeling him up a bit, you know, whatever, it was the morning, I left the letter at his house. And it's a really well written letter, and I'm pretty sure that my extra ass like sealed it with like a copper bulldog clip or something, I don't know. And so I left this letter explaining that I was trans and what that meant, because I thought he might not know what it meant. And I went home to my mum and I cried. And I was like, I hate being trans. I hate it so much. And it was the only time when my mum didn't just say, you know, it's fine, you're who you are. She was like, I know, it's hard. And basically waiting in agony for ages. And so I I got a text from him and he said that he didn't really know what it all meant, but he was willing to try. He didn't see me any differently. And I kind of was so overwhelmed. And he came and picked me up just then to like reassure me. And we hung out, which was lovely because I was like, this guy I like, he likes me even though I'm trans and all of those good things. And it was okay for that one evening because on that evening, the evening he said it was okay, we had gone back to his house and he was living with his parents and his sister was over. And his sister went to my school and she was much older than me, but she was in the same year as my older sister. And she recognized me. And she told his parents. And even though he had said that things were fine and we would kind of see where it went, his sister knowing and telling his parents made him break up with me. And I think this is one of the hardest things about being trans and knowing when it's the right time to tell someone, is because you have to watch people's perceptions of you change. And it's not your fault. You have to watch people fall out of love with you and lose interest in you like you're damaged goods or you're a freak. And it was the first time I ever experienced it, and it scarred me for a really long time. And now some of you might be watching this and thinking, well, you didn't tell him that you were trans, so maybe it's your fault. And do you know what? In some aspects, I think, yeah, if I had told him I was trans earlier on, I wouldn't have opened myself up to so much hurt. But as a trans person, I am entitled to dating experiences too. I'm entitled to not tell everyone everything if I don't want to. And it was the first time I had ever done that, and it was the last time I ever did it, because I learned from that how important it was to be open with people, because I really hurt myself going through that relationship. And it was my first proper relationship. He was kind of, I mean, we never really talked about it, but like, we were seeing each other for like 2 months. He was kind of my first like love. And he had a bike and he was nice and he could cook. But yeah, that is the story of the first and only time I did not tell someone that I was trans when I was dating them. For the record, the response that I got was much better, and I would not recommend putting yourself in dangerous situations, which is why I wrote a letter to remove myself from that. So I don't regret that part of it. But yeah, that's the story. I hope you have a lovely Valentine's Day. I hope that this video was like Valentine's Day themed enough to keep you guys interested. If you enjoy this story time, they happen every second Sunday of every month at 6:30 GMT. So please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you can see them every Sunday. Woohoo! I put out new videos every Wednesday, and I do a live stream on the last Sunday of every month. Have a good Valentine's Day. Love to you all from the brutally single person alone in her bedroom filming a video.